Hey, come see us on tour. We'll be in Duluth, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets.
And guess what happened because of that? So because they won't let a Palestinian speak, there are these what they call uncommitted delegates. There's not many of them. So they're pretending they're delegates for the Democratic Party, and they're pretending that they're not going to vote for Kamala Harris. And they're doing a sit-in. You want to see it? Here it is.
Suppress the voices of.
So they're upset that so all they want, this is literally what they're asking for. All they want is for a speaker to be allowed on stage at the Democratic National Convention. Boy, talk about a small ask. So this is their big demand. Their big demand is we're going to sit out. So they're sitting outside the hall. They're still in a fenced-in area. You can't get in without a pass. So they're out just outside the hall in a fenced-in area, and they're all sitting there. And what do they want? They want a Palestinian speaker to be allowed on stage. And the Democrats say no. Kamala Harris says no. No. And so here's this guy, James Zogby. He tweeted this out. And who is James Zogby? I'll show you who he is. James Zogby is the founder of Arab Americans in the USA. JamesZogby.com. He worked for Jesse Jackson in 84 and 88, and he worked for Sanders in 16 and 20. And he's a Democrat. He gives them his support without demanding anything. And so he tweets this out.
Press the voices of.
He tweets this out, and he says, memo to the Harris camp. Well, let's listen to what this guy says, and then we'll read his tweet.
Not suppress the voices of.
This is not James Zogby speaking. This is one of the uncommitted protesters. He's the leader.
Will not suppress the voices of Palestinian Americans and for those of us who stand in strong solidarity with Palestinian human rights. I'm waiting for the call. As soon as I get the call saying that they'll allow a Palestinian American speaker from this stage, which I think would be very reasonable, then I want to go home. Until then, we'll be right here. My phone is charged. I'm waiting for the call. Will not suppress the voices. Will not.
So that's it. That's their big demand. Their big demand is they want a speaker on stage there, and then that's it. So James Zogby says, memo to Harris campaign. Since you invited American Jews with a child held captive in Gaza, you should have also invited a speaker, a Palestinian American with family in Gaza suffering from the assault. Palestinians deserve respect. To fail to do this is an unforced error. Fix it now. That's what he says. And let me see if I have my tweet in here. I said, people like this can't admit to themselves that they support and are going to vote for a politician committed to genocide. They beclown themselves by pretending having a Palestinian speaker at the DNC is going to fix something. You are supporting evil and genocide, full stop. Okay. So, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. I'm glad they're protesting a little. As you know, I know there's lots of Muslims in Michigan who have said they're not going to vote for. Is that what they're doing? So here's what some people said to that. It's wild to me that any of these people think the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, and particularly Kamala Harris, cares about them at all. She doesn't. They don't. They don't. And it's embarrassing that they keep begging for scraps at the table, because that's what they're doing. How many more ways can the DNC say we don't want you before they'll get it? Yup, they are still going to vote for her, despite the fact that she's been murdering Palestinians for almost a year and has no intention to ever stop. I'd never be able to forgive or forget this heinous crime. Oh, and guess what? So now there's this Muslim Women for Harris. How that is even a thing is beyond me. But it is. That's a real thing. So here's what they put out a letter because they won't let a Palestinian speak. We cannot in good conscience continue Muslim women for Harris. Wow. It only took, 11 months of a genocide that they're funding for you to put your foot down? We cannot in good conscience continue Muslim women for Harris. In light of this new information from the uncommitted movement, that Vice President Harris' team declined their request to have a Palestinian American speaker take the stage at the DNC. That's your red line? That's your red line? Talk about begging for a scrap of a scrap. That's your red line. The family of the Israeli hostage that was on the stage tonight has shown more empathy towards Palestinian Americans and Palestinians than our candidate or the DNC has. This is a terrible message to send to Democrats. Palestinians have the right to speak about Palestine. We pray that the DNC and the Vice President Harris team makes the right decision before the convention is over, for the sake of each of us, so we can get back to supporting Kamala Harris. Just put a speaker on stage, and we're going to vote for you. We're going to be Muslims for you. That is bonkers. Why wouldn't they try to support? Breonna Taylor's Apartment Walls Matter says, poster child of shit libs. Wait until they start getting confronted on. Oh, wait, this is different. That's from a different thing. That's not for this. So you got to remember what Lawrence O'Donnell said. No, Lawrence O'Donnell said this before he had his own show on MSNBC. Now, he'll never say this again. But you got to remember this.
If you want to pull the party, the major party that is closest to the way you're thinking, to what you're thinking, you must show them that you're capable of not voting for them.
Because the way the Democratic...
Did you hear? So that's been my message since 2016. If you want to pull the Democratic Party to your position, you must show them that you're capable and willing to not vote for them. When I did that, I told Hillary Clinton after they cheated Bernie and Bernie bent the knee, I said, come get my vote. That's how politics works. Come get my vote. That's what Kyle Kalinske used to say. He no longer says it anymore because he has a shit-lip billionaire Democratic donor that gets him on the good algorithm at YouTube. No doubt. That's my theory anyway. No doubt that's happening. That's what he used to say. Doesn't say it anymore. That's what I still say. I've been the one who's consistent. People hate me for saying that. They hated me. I lost a lot of friends in Hollywood. I had a lot of heat come down my neck in Hollywood in 2016 because I said that. I soon thereafter got an email from my manager saying that we're no longer working together. Didn't say why. So, but I had the executive producer of Modern Family come at me on social media because they heard my radio show on KPFK where I was telling the truth about Hillary Clinton, and I was saying, come get my vote. That's how this works. Hillary Clinton wouldn't come get my vote. Joe Biden would not come get my vote. Kamala Harris is not trying to come get my vote. So let's listen to Lawrence O'Donnell. I'll probably play this all the way through. It's pretty remarkable.
Not to pull the party, the major party that is closest to the way you're thinking, to what you're thinking. You must show them that you're capable of not voting for them.
Because the way the Democratic Party is run now for quite a number of presidential cycles is they pick a nominee in a kind of half-assed process that doesn't really represent much of anybody, and then they tell everybody to just shut up. Don't bring up anything that will complicate life for your nominee. You know he's not for you on this. Why badger him? He's not going to be for you for reasons that you don't understand but are good reasons. Shut up. Turn off your brains.
And that's what I was told in 2016. I was told that by people at the Young Turks. They would bring people on the show just to say that to me. I was told that by the executive producer of Modern Family. I was told that by comedian friends of mine. I was told that by people in the same political space as me on YouTube. I was told that by everybody. Even Bernie Sanders said that kind of stuff. So back to Lawrence O'Donnell.
If you don't show them you're capable of not voting for them, they don't have to listen to you. I promise you that. I worked within the Democratic Party. I didn't listen or have to listen to anything on the left while I was working in the Democratic Party because the left had nowhere to go.
Because the left has nowhere to go. And that's why you see stuff like this. You see stuff like Muslim women for Harris, because they got nowhere to go. They got nowhere to go.
Hey, come see us on tour. We'll be in Duluth, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets.